I thought wasn't possible before the pandemic was I didn't really think that the court would ever be viewed as compassionate or accessible. And since the pandemic has began and the court has pivoted so many times in so many different directions to help people and to make sure that justice is still carried out, I do believe in a way that we've never seen before, the community recognizes how compassionate and accessible the court really can be.
Before the pandemic, I couldn't have imagined that we would be able to conduct hearings where I had parties appearing from overseas. Recently, I had a guardianship that I was able to grant to parents who called in to consent from Dubai.
The pandemic has forced us to make almost all of our operations entirely digital with online platforms and the court's unique Court Connect Teams platform. And it has really forced the practice of law to change dramatically.
Most people are able to participate remotely, and that wasn't something I contemplated seeing rolled out, especially in the time that we were able to do so.
I think that the pandemic really showed that some flexibility in how people come to court really needs to be here to stay, because not everybody can get to court. And I think when we expanded the option for remote hearings, it really gave people access to justice that they might not have had before.
We want the rule of law to mean that the law applies the same to everybody. And we really have tried to do that during the pandemic to make sure that we're affording access to everybody, regardless of their economic status, their ability to get to the courthouse, or the way the pandemic may have affected them. So we really have acknowledged that we need to make sure that in the most difficult circumstances, we're still ensuring that everybody feels like they've got the same legal system applying to them, whether it's one person representing himself or herself, or a large corporation that can afford the best legal representation anywhere. And I really hope we've done that throughout the pandemic.
The prime directive for us in the justice system has always been to make sure that law is fairly applied, to make sure people have a forum where they can resolve disputes in a peaceable way. That's what a justice system does. It hasn't changed at all. We've altered some of the tools by necessity. Some of those we'll keep, some of those we'll discard when there's no longer a need for them. But that fundamental principle that we're trying to provide a fair justice system for people hasn't changed a bit.
You know, something I've been told my entire career at the courts is that one of the areas that isn't our forte, so to speak, is data. I think that we were able to do an excellent job through the pandemic with the data that we did have, but also what happened was it opened the door for us to see how we could be collecting different data and more useful data, and then how we could use that to increase efficiencies.
I think the pandemic demonstrated that it is essential for our branch of government, for our system of justice, that we are able to meet people where they are, that people need access to justice, that we should be open to new and innovative ways for people to have their disputes heard and adjudicated according to the rule of law. So I think it was really a good reminder about how important it is for us to remain innovative.
The pandemic demonstrated to us how critical it was to be constantly flexible in how we deliver justice. Moving forward, we have to do more robust crisis planning with the understanding that this may not be a one-off and that we may have other circumstances that strike our court system where we will have to deliver services in a different way. We will be more prepared.